All right, today we are diving into the ultimate blueprint for building some serious power and a fantastic physique. We're going to break down a complete workout step by step that's designed for two of the most important areas, building a powerful lower body and sculpting strong, defined shoulders. Let's get right into it.
I mean, who doesn't, right? If that's your goal, then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to walk through a super targeted routine that's all about getting maximum impact on these key muscle groups. We're talking both size and strength. So let's start building. So we're kicking things off with part one, legs. And there's a good reason we start here. A powerful lower body isn't just for show, it's the foundation for pretty much every athletic movement you can think of. But before we even touch a weight, there are a couple of key ideas we need to get straight. Okay, so our whole workout strategy revolves around combining two types of movements. First up, you've got your compound exercises, like the squat. Think of these as your heavy hitters, our primary mass builders. They hit multiple muscle groups all at once for the biggest bang for your buck in strength gains. Then we'll use isolation exercises, like a leg curl. These are more like our sculptors, zeroing in on one specific muscle to really carve out that detail and definition. You need both to build a truly well-rounded physique. First up, the king of all leg exercises, the barbell squat. This is our main compound movement for a reason. It smashes the quads, the hamstrings, and the glutes all in one go. Now, the most critical part of this lift, and I can't stress this enough, is your form. Really focus on keeping that chest up and driving your hips back, almost like you're about to sit down in a chair. And remember, all the power comes from pushing through your heels on the way up. This is all about controlled strength. All right, next we're moving over to the machine leg press. This is another powerhouse compound exercise, but the great thing about it is that it lets you really load up the weight safely. The key here, keep your back glued to the pad the entire time and never lock out your knees at the top. You want to keep a slight bend to maintain constant tension right where we want it on the muscles. Now we're shifting gears to our first isolation move, the seated leg extension. This one is all about carving out that detail in your quadriceps. And listen, the secret here isn't about how much weight you can lift, it's all about control. As you extend your legs, pause at the very top and give those quads a hard 1-second squeeze before you slowly lower the weight back down. That peak contraction, that's what builds real definition. To balance out all that quad work, we've got to hit the hamstrings. And for that, we're doing the lying leg curl. Just like with the extensions, the magic is in that squeeze at the top and the slow, controlled release. You should really feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings on the way down. That's how you know you're doing it right. And this brings us to what is maybe the most important rule for this entire workout. It's summed up perfectly right here: form over everything. Jerking weight around with momentum doesn't build muscle, it just leads to injury. The goal, always, is to make the target muscle do 100% of the work. We're going to finish our leg workout with standing calf raises. The goal here is a full, deep range of motion, so drop your heels way down to get a good stretch. Then press all the way up onto your toes and squeeze, really squeeze, for a solid 1 to 2 seconds at the top. For these, you're just going to go for maximum reps until you really feel that burn. Okay, the foundation is built. Now let's move on to part 2. Shoulders. A strong lower body provides the base, and now we get to do the fun part, sculpting the upper body. Our goal here is to hit all 3 heads of the deltoid muscle to create that classic, strong, rounded shoulder look. We're starting with an absolute powerhouse, the seated dumbbell shoulder press. This is our main compound movement for shoulders because it nails the front and middle delts. Using a bench with back support is huge here. It lets you press heavier weight with good form and focus entirely on driving those dumbbells straight up. Next up, we isolate those side delts with dumbbell lateral raises. This is the exercise that creates that wider, broader look for your shoulders. Now, the absolute key here, and the biggest mistake people make, is to avoid swinging the weight. Lead with your elbows and really feel that tension in the side of your shoulder. A little pause at the top makes all the difference. You know, for truly balanced shoulder development, we absolutely cannot neglect the rear deltoids. That's where the reverse machine fly comes in. This exercise is so crucial, not just for creating that 3D look, but it's also amazing for improving your posture. The real key is to focus on squeezing your shoulder blades together at the peak of the movement. To finish strong, we're targeting the trapezius muscles, the traps, with barbell shrugs. This is such a simple but powerful movement. Just think about one thing, trying to touch your shoulders to your ears. Hold that intense squeeze at the top for a couple of seconds, and then control the weight all the way back down. No jerking. So that's the full workout. But look, the exercises themselves are only half the story. The real results, the ones that stick, come from the principles you apply to them. So let's look at the blueprint for success that ties this all together. It really all boils down to these 5 rules. Number 1, always prioritize correct form over heavy weight. Always. 2, use slow, controlled motions for every single exercise. 3, avoid using that sloppy, jerking momentum just to lift the weight. 4, squeeze the target muscle at the peak of every single rep. And finally, you have to develop that mind-muscle connection. You need to feel the muscle doing the work. That right there is the real secret to growth.
We've walked through the entire plan, we've given you the blueprint for success. Now really, the only question that matters is the one right here on the screen. Thanks for joining this explainer.